What's up, fellow traders? So today we had our little fluff day like I anticipated, and I want to get right into it tonight on my trades, kind of like a little lesson. You know, I do these for my friends because that's how I learned how to trade. If it wasn't for my friends sharing with me, I wouldn't know anything about the market either. If you've been following what I've been saying last week on SRS, my average was 36. We had our little ramp up from like 32 to 37.50. That's what you got to look at, where the stock just came from, not where your average is. Because even if you end up selling at a little loss or too little of a gain, like I was kind of calling it because I got greedy, you're selling at a good rip, so more than likely it's going to pull back and you can get back into it and bring your average down anyways. So next time it rips, then you got more of a gain or no loss. And I gotta admit, this morning, you know, I'm not at the post this week, and I'm going over this because I want us to all learn from this. Was talking with my partner, finger on the trigger again. You know, my average is 32, SRS was 35.80 pre-market, and I should have at least sold half, and that's what you got to do. If you're feeling greedy and you want to risk it and you want more out of it, at least sell half. And that's why I'm glad I sold my FAS yesterday on that 20% rip. Sure, it looked like a bad move after hours and pre-market this morning, but you can't pick the exact top and you can't pick the exact bottom. And to maximize your gains, you got to pull those rips off and move on. I had 20% on SRS again yesterday and another $2 gift this morning. Should have pulled it. This is the S&P, and I want to just go over real quick what happened today. Interesting. S&P and Dow dinked their October lows. Our first plunge found support. Volume was weak. People that are long, that are watching the S&P, were looking at this double nut right here, and they're glad it found support. But to find support off of such a huge double nut, and then for this to be actually the start of a new rally, this would have had to have been a huge jump, completely filling yesterday's downside. So we would have to close up like 320 or something today on huge volume. But there's always tomorrow. So that's what we got to watch on the S&P. You know, something else interesting, this little uptrend I was going over, that we were bouncing off on the top, is getting tighter. We broke through it on Monday. Now we found support on our October low. This can get a little confusing, but we closed on this. So tomorrow on our uptrend that we broke. So tomorrow if we reverse off of that, it's looking good because it's getting tight. More than likely we'll catapult down off of this resistance and through this support. But if we get up through here, it's in the bull's hands again because they're back in this uptrend channel, and you got to watch that it don't shoot through both resistance. If it does on high volume, it's going to hit the 200-day for sure. But on the Dow, it's a little different. There's not a double nut. On the Dow, we already failed that same tops, the trend line off those two same tops, because we're both battling the October lows right now. And see how the Dow's already failed. but dinked. I mean, dinked. They opened above the October lows this morning, where the S&P opened on them and dipped below them. They opened above them and just dinked them, and which I was hoping to see it go below the 7777 today. But instead, we're making our way back up to the 7880. You know, and that's a big one for me, and we're through it. But the volume wasn't there, and like I showed on the S&P, like if you're gonna find support off this first plunge and convict, this should be huge, and there's always tomorrow. But the Dow's just showing a little more bearish right now than the S&P. And I'm going to go over one more deal right here before I close this out. I'm going to go over like my trade with you. My short on Bed Bath & Beyond. Just because I pointed out my SRS trade I should have made this morning, I'm going to go over this too real quick. Just because I like to learn from it. If I was home, this is what I would have done in my eyes, and I'm going to show you why. This is why I shorted Bed Bath & Beyond up here, because of this insane, this is a 3-year chart. I mean, this is a powerful downtrend. I mean, there's no way I went into this store. It's a joke. I mean, they're competing with every department store, from Walmart to Sears to J.C. Penney's to I seen somewhere else was carrying all the crap now. And look at that downtrend. This is their high, their all-time high, 42, and that's pretty powerful. It's, you know, they're already trading at a pretty high PE to make that run to 42, and that's why my bet is down to the 50-day and the 25 range, or even like the 200-day, excuse me. But my trade today is I would have covered right there by 29, because we just came down from 32, and that's a good rip, because this is going to be a little tough to fall through. Could have it fell through? Yes. It don't matter though, because as it falls through in a week or so, you just look at other things. You look back and say, oh, look at Bed Bath & Beyond's back at 30. I'm going to pick up some more shorts. So let's look for those key areas tomorrow on the S&P and Dow. I'm definitely not at the post for the rest of the week, but I am here pre-market. And hopefully if I get another chance, I don't hesitate. Good luck.